Now, the Backsliders sound has always had a freshness about it. How do you keep your sound fresh, and how important is that to you?
Well, firstly, I'm glad that you have noticed, or you think that there's a freshness, because I think there is too, and that's kind of what we're trying to get across. Without giving away too many secrets, I think it's because we purposefully do not completely arrange and organise our songs. They have a structure for sure, but there's always an element in them of improvisation that all the members of the band are aware of, and anyone at any point in time can go off on a tangent if they want to. And so that means that the live shows vary quite a lot. It also means, I think that it means that there's an element of creativity on the spot, and that's what we're trying to achieve. We get that from, that's in my mind, that's what blues is all about. It's supposed to be.
It is, yeah.
It's supposed to have a spontaneous element to it.
I agree. Yeah. I saw your show at Blues Fest and blew me away. One of my highlights.
Oh, great.
Because of that spontaneity and you not knowing where it's going, and the energy too that the two of you have on stage, and you can see you're loving it, and it's not just something you're getting paid to do.
Yeah,
you can see the love of the music, and the energy comes through.
I'm certainly not doing it for the money. To do something else, but well, that's really good that comes through, because that's the kick that we get out of it. Is that when you come off, it's a real high, because you've had this musical communication on stage. You haven't just gone through the motions, and that's it. That's the idea for us.
So let's get around to why you're doing this tour, why you're here. Congratulations on another outstanding album, The Dark Side, recorded at Oceanic Studios. Now, the critics have raved about it. I haven't read a bad review. Has it been well received by the fans?
It definitely seemed people. You can only go on what people tell you at gigs, I suppose, aside from reviews. But because we sell at gigs as well, and people come up afterwards, and overwhelmingly we've had people saying they really like the record. It's all been really positive, and also the responses to new songs live, because we're doing a lot of the songs of the new record live, and the responses have been great. We're just really happy that we can. It's a funny thing, because if they weren't good, it's not going to really make a lot of difference, because we're just going to play what we like to play. I often think, well, what would happen if it was a terrible review and everyone hated it? Well, it's going to be a bit hard, because that's what we do. But I'm really happy that people like it, that's for sure.
Now, do you have a favourite on the CD? Is there a particular one that's special to you? Because we'll give it a spin and we'll go out with that one.
Oh, okay. There's a lot I like on there, but there's one that probably at the heart of the record. There's one called The Dark Side of Newtown, which is about the Sydney suburb of Newtown, where I live, and I live most of my life, and where my family kind of go back to the 1800s there. So it's a colourful area, and I try to put a lot of history into that song. So
all right, we'll give it a spin.
On the dark side of Newtown. Yeah, Jessie, she married Fred in April, across from Newtown Station. Took the horse-drawn tram right up to the celebration. Together nearly 40 years, when Fred he departed. Jesse dressed in widow's weeds, round Newtown thereafter. It was a hard, hard time near the store that named Newtown. It was a hard, hard time on the bad side of Newtown. On the bad side of Newtown. He was buried by a tree near the track of the Aura, in a grave that can't be seen. Yeah, there's paupers in a graveyard on the city surround. You know, poverty is spreading. There's an epidemic in Newtown. Chop a load of baker's wood with a felling axe, loaded on a donkey tray with a pile of knickknacks. Make a pound note bet at a dish lick of meat. Watch the coat tugger lose if it's a dead heat. The store that named the town. It was a hard, hard time on the bad side of Newtown. On the bad side of Newtown. On the bad side of Newtown.
So Rob, after a successful career with Midnight Oil, you joined the Backsliders about 14 years ago. What brought you to the Backsliders?
Well, I knew Dom because Dom had helped out on a side project of mine called the Ghost Riders. So we'd struck up a friendship, and then a few years passed, and then I found out that Backsliders drummer Pete was leaving, so I went to the audition, played really softly so I didn't scare them. Got the job.
There you go. Now, when I saw the Backsliders at Blues Fest this year, by the end of your set, your shirt was absolutely drenched with sweat. Is it this form of music that creates all that energy? Like this music has an energy that's drum driven, isn't it?
It is. It is. I mean, there's no bass player, so I use a big marching drum instead of a kick drum, which gives this subsonic pulse to the music. And I try to sonically keep out of the way of Dom's guitars, because he runs numerous channels. And we've just hit on a thing, particularly with Ian Collard, who's playing with us today at Williamstown. We've just kind of hit on this thing where we're really pushing each other. And I'm completely covered in sweat at the end of the shows, and just love playing in this band because it's such a, it's a very physical thing, but over the years, Dom and I have kind of figured out these nods and winks. Sometimes I get them wrong. I get a wink instead of a nod, and nod instead of a wink. But normally, I get them right, and we manage to sort of salvage some kind of order out of chaos.
Yeah, I was just saying to Dom, that's the great thing about the band, is that you just don't know what's going on. It can go anywhere, and that's what blues is about, isn't it? Just improvisation.
That's what it feels like on stage too, by the way.
Yeah, no, well, but it's what, as a punter, you don't want to see something that's just already, you know, nailed down, rehearsed to within the inch of it, whatever. You want to see musicians enjoying themselves and getting into the music, and that's what I saw at Blues Fest.
Oh, great.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, you've co-written 3 on the album with Dom?
Yeah, well, actually, co-written is probably a bit of an exaggeration. I've added some bits and pieces to songs that Dom's worked up over the last couple of years, which have ended up on Dark Side, Backsliders' new album.
Yep.
But in the past, we've co-written songs, you know, more of a 50-50 thing, and it works well, actually. It's interesting because I've been writing songs, as you probably know, for years for Midnight Oil and for Ghost Riders and Hurston Green and a whole bunch of projects that I've had. But when Dom and I write songs, it's very quickly becomes a Backsliders song because of the history and the kind of inclinations that Dom always brings to the music. And I love the way a song can be written one way, and then you can take it to a variety of different bands, and they can be quite different animals. But here's the thing: if it's a good song, it'll always work. Still, you know, it still comes down to a compelling title and a lyric, good beat, you know, some melody.
Yeah.
It always has.
I've been talking with Dom Turner and Rob Hurst from the legendary Australian blues band The Backsliders. They've been touring for the last month promoting their latest release. It's an outstanding album called Dark Side. It's been great chatting to you both. Thank you for your contribution to the Australian blues scene, and I'm sure that you have so much still to offer. And thank you so much for your time and being part of Blues on the Hill.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, Bass.
Thank you, Bruce.
Yeah.
It's good. Everybody gets a lot out of it, I'm sure. No, it's great that you did it. It's a good thing. We appreciate it very much. This is actually our last gig for quite a few months now because both Rob and I are off travelling and we're not playing again until October. So we're having fun here. The early hours to our back street you do wrong. You three, such a weakness, you love to hit from behind. You three, there's an open window, treat the rest without fear. You three, they are so helpless, never rest easy again. We're close to city, I knew that something was wrong. On me, felt so helpless, you never felt so alone. On me, it goes on evermore. On me, never went wrong. Thanks a lot, folks. Thanks for coming along. Really appreciate it. We'll be over at the signing table there if you'd like to come say hi or grab a CD from us.